Hey folks, Chris here in England. Thabo Mbeki today talking about the South African Communist Party competing with the African National Congress in the next municipal elections in late 2026 or early 2027, saying that it could be a confrontation. Well, I find that comical. The South African Communist Party barely has 50,000 members of that political party, and it's never really functioned as a political party. It's just a cafe clutch of bum-hurt leftists who got their inculcation growing up in the former German Democratic Republic, in Cuba, in communist China or communist Soviet Union, and clinging to that nonsense. They're not real communists. At least they don't know what real communism is. But the South African Communist Party is not a threat to the African National Congress. The behavior of ANC officials like Fikile Mbalula and now Thabo Mbeki is making the South African Communist Party an actual legitimate, genuine threat to the party when it's not. Most of the members of the South African Communist Party are actually ANC members. All the senior card-carrying leadership of the African National Congress are members of the Communist Party. It's part of the evil tripartite alliance with COSATU, the ANC, and the Communist Party. Less evil with COSATU, but certainly with the Communist Party and with the ANC. So giving the South African Communist Party credibility by claiming it's a threat to the ANC is comical. It's not. The African National Congress would do well to focus its attention on its failure at service delivery in the major metropolitan areas of South Africa. Otherwise, it's going to be slaughtered in the next elections between November of 2026 and January of 2027. Service delivery in South Africa is abysmal. Many of my viewers today without water for 4 straight days. Many people without electricity, others without rubbish removal. This is abysmal. Why? Because of the racist laws of South Africa and the ANC, excluding people from service delivery and handing contracts over to caterers with a corrupt patronage network, and they fail to deliver services. It's abysmal, it's horrific. And South Africans, black, white, and brown, are khutfa. They've had enough. They've had enough of this nonsense. So the threat isn't the South African Communist Party. The threat is the ANC itself. It must reform itself from inside. And we've been hearing this for a number of years about reform, reform, reform. It appears that the ANC is incapable of reform. It's incapable of fixing itself, not without some sort of internal revolution or overthrow of the current leadership. And if that happens, I fear that the radical economic transformation faction will simply take over and continue the oppression of racial minorities in South Africa and the kleptocracy that's been going on for a couple decades now. So the threat in 2026, 2027, as I said, is not the South African Communist Party, Thabo Mbeki, Fikile Mbalula, Cyril Ramaphosa. The threat is your caterers who fail to deliver service to South Africans. Beyond that, you ought to be paying close attention to Mkhonto we Sizwe. As long as Jacob Zuma draws breath, that party has life. It's a vanity project for Jacob Zuma, but as long as he's alive, they will draw support from the Zulu community at a minimum, but also from others. And they've shown that by taking by-elections from the ANC in KZN and elsewhere. Surprisingly, even in the Western Cape, they've won by-elections where you would think they wouldn't have much support at all. And beyond MK, the ANC might even have to worry about its erstwhile partner in the Government of National Unity, the Democratic Alliance, which shows tiny little signs of waking up from its evil alliance with the ANC. But I wouldn't hold my breath on that. The Democratic Alliance has been cratering itself despite the polls that were leaked this past week, claiming that they have over 40% support in the major metros. That seems implausible, to say the least, and also claiming the ANC is below 30%. Well, I have no trouble or difficulty believing the ANC is below 30%. I mean, they deserve to be below 10% with what they've delivered for South Africans, black, white, and brown. And their racially tinged policies and laws just make it much worse. Not only are they inept and corrupt, but they're immoral and unjust. And listening to senior ANC officials lie about what's happening in South Africa to the world, when the world can actually see what's happening, is disturbing. But again, a little advice to Thabo Mbeki, the former president of South Africa: stop losing sleep over the South African Communist Party. They're not a threat to you. Your own party is a threat to your governance. You've failed epically, time and time again. And in 2026 or early 2027, the ANC will lose in Cape Town. They will lose in eThekwini. They will lose in Ekurhuleni. They will lose in Tshwane, and they will lose in Joburg. South Africa's ANC will not draw more than 25 or 30% support in any of those metros. You heard it here. This is my prediction, 29 August 2025. They will not draw more than 30% in any of those metros and likely be below 25% in all of them. And eThekwini, they might even go below 15%. So there's the prediction. I make predictions based on data and history and events. Things can change. If they change, I'll change my analysis, but that's my analysis today. What say you, South Africa, Mzansi? Is the Communist Party a threat to the ANC, or is the ANC a threat to the ANC? You decide. Cheers.